USS Minnesota SSN 783 has steadily moved from a celebrated new boat moment to a hard-working, forward-deployed instrument of U.S. naval power, a sleek, quiet, and relentlessly adaptable hunter beneath the waves that, by 2025, was demonstrating exactly why the Virginia class remains the backbone of the U.S. attack submarine force. Built as one of the high-endurance, multi-mission fast attack boats the Navy designed to operate across the full spectrum of undersea and littoral warfare, Minnesota combines advanced propulsion, modern sensors, and weapons flexibility with a trained crew engineered to make complex systems sing in the pressure and darkness of the deep. Commissioned in 2013 after construction at Newport News, Minnesota measures roughly 377 feet long, displaces on the order of 7,800 tons submerged, and carries a complement of roughly 140 sailors, figures that place her squarely among the Virginia-class boats optimized for stealthy presence, intelligence collection, precision strike, and anti-submarine hunting. From the keel laying through the shakedown and beyond, Minnesota's early life was shaped by the realities of producing a top-tier nuclear warship in a modern industrial environment. Milestone dates like keel laying, launching, delivery and commissioning were punctuated by intense technical work and the kind of industrial scrutiny that follows high-value platforms. After her commissioning in September 2013, she spent extended periods alongside shipyard facilities to ensure every system met the Navy's standards. That attention to detail matters for nuclear plants, propulsion lines, acoustic treatments, and weapons handling systems alike, because quietness and reliability are not luxuries on a submarine, they are mission essentials. The design choices made across the Virginia-class, modular construction, advanced sonar suites, and an emphasis on reduced acoustic signature, have allowed boats like Minnesota to evolve across decades of service as new sensors, weapons, and mission packages are introduced. Technically, Minnesota is powered by an S9G nuclear reactor that provides essentially unlimited range and endurance for the hull's operational profile. In practical terms, this means the boat can remain at sea, at speed, and under power for months without the need for refueling, constrained primarily by food, maintenance cycles, and human endurance. The propulsion system, hydrodynamic shaping, and acoustic treatments combine so the boat can stock quietly, listen well, and position itself to influence events above and below the surface. The submarine's sensor fit, a combination of flank arrays, hull-mounted sonar, and towed arrays, gives it layered detection ability suited to open ocean ASW, littoral operations, and covert surveillance. On the weapons side, Minnesota is able to prosecute targets with heavyweight torpedoes, can employ anti-ship weapons as appropriate, and can deliver land attack ordnance such as Tomahawk cruise missiles when mission planners require strike options. The precise mix of loadouts and mission modules is set according to tasking, and the Virginia architecture was intentionally designed to be flexible so boats could be modernized and reconfigured during their service life. By 2025, Minnesota's operational picture had shifted toward the Indo-Pacific, a reflection of the U.S. Navy's strategic prioritization of that region and the need to posture quiet, capable undersea forces close to contested waters and allied partners. The boat's movement in 2020-2025 became a visible marker of that shift. In late 2024, Minnesota arrived at Naval Base Guam, a significant forward-basing decision that placed a Virginia-class fast attack submarine closer to the Western Pacific's choke points and littorals. Forward deployment to Guam enabled more persistent patrol cycles in the region and greater opportunity for combined training and interoperability with allies. In 2025, the boat conducted operational taskings while based in Guam and completed port visits and training events across Allied bases, demonstrating the operational reach achievable when the Navy forward positions nuclear attack submarines. Minnesota's 2025 schedule included high-profile regional engagements that doubled as operational training and diplomatic signaling. In late February 2025, she made port calls and training visits to Western Australia, including HMAS Stirling and a stop in Perth, where her crew participated in cross-training with Royal Australian Navy personnel. Those visits dovetailed with broader efforts under the AUKUS partnership and other cooperative arrangements to increase Allied familiarity with nuclear submarine operations, logistics, and maintenance needs. For Australia, a partner embarking on its own path to nuclear-powered submarines under AUKUS, exposure to U.S. submarines operating from regional ports is both practical and symbolic, helping local naval communities size up requirements for infrastructure, maintenance, and personnel training. Reporting from maritime analysts and defense outlets noted that Minnesota's port calls and exercises in Australian waters were part of a sequence of rotational activities intended to bolster regional deterrence and reassure partners. Operationally, the Minnesota of 2025 was more than a symbol. The boat completed operational taskings in the Indo-Pacific and returned to Guam in April 2025 after such a tasking, signaling the value of forward-deployed submarines for real-world missions rather than just presence visits. Forward deployment changes the tempo of maintenance, training, and logistics. It requires the boat's crew to be adaptable and its support network to operate efficiently at remote anchorages. Teams of maintainers, supply specialists, and shoreside personnel coordinate to ensure that weapons, sensors, and the nuclear plant remain ready, and the Navy's public reporting around those returns emphasized both the crew's professionalism and the underlying logistical choreography needed to sustain forward operations. Beyond deployments and diplomacy, Minnesota's technical and human details tell the story of what life aboard a modern submarine looks like. The boat's complement, roughly 100+ officers and enlisted ratings organized into watches, maintenance teams, and mission sections, train continually in warfare tactics, damage control, and system-level troubleshooting so the boat can react quickly in complex scenarios. Submarine life emphasizes cross-training and multi-skill proficiency because a small team must be able to manage propulsion, combat systems, sonar, navigation, weapons, and engineering responses at any hour under conditions where seconds can matter. Routine aboard ship drills, certifications, and inspections punctuate operational deployments, and sailors alternate focused watchstanding with maintenance cycles and personal downtime in tight, carefully organized spaces. The boat's design purposely creates modular spaces for mission-specific gear while giving the crew the tools to maintain quiet operations. The result is a platform that is technically advanced but only as effective as the people who run it. The strategic value of a boat like Minnesota is in the combination of stealth, persistence, and flexibility. Submarines operate where surface ships and aircraft are most vulnerable to detection, under the surface, shielded by water and allowed to move into geographies where access is restricted. This makes them uniquely valuable for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and precision strike. In the Indo-Pacific, that value translates into an ability to hold at risk high-value maritime targets, monitor adversary movements, and provide options to commanders that complicate an adversary's operational calculus. The forward deployment of Virginia-class boats to places like Guam and rotational visits to Allied ports amplify deterrent posture by making it more costly for any regional actor to assume freedom of action unchecked. Analysts have pointed to the Minnesota's presence in the region as part of a broader U.S. effort to rebalance naval assets and create distributed, resilient forces. A submarine's maintenance history and shipyard interactions are not trivia. They are core indicators of conducted engineering and the life cycle costs of operating a nuclear ship. Minnesota's post-commissioning work included careful attention to propulsion plant components and other complex systems, not unusual for first years of service for a class that pushes industrial and technological boundaries. Later, her maintenance cycles at facilities like Pearl Harbor and the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard prepared her for extended deployments and ensured that hull, systems, and the reactor received the required inspections and repairs. Those maintenance events also provide opportunities to install upgrades, software improvements to combat systems, new acoustic treatments, and sensor calibrations that keep the boat tactically relevant as threats and technologies evolve. For a vessel operating forward far from continental shipyards, the availability of regional maintenance capabilities and shore support is critical. Building that capacity in places like Guam and Allied ports is part of the long-term calculus for sustained submarine operations in the Indo-Pacific. Operational security and the nature of submarine activity mean that many of the most interesting details about covert missions are never public. What becomes public is often the tip of an iceberg: port calls, maintenance completions, and carefully worded news releases that emphasize safety, readiness, and partnership. That opacity is intentional. A submarine's advantage hinges on uncertainty. Yet the bits of information